Of all the many communities in Maine, hundreds of them, there is nothing that is quite like Carrabassett Valley, the town in western Maine that is the home of the Sugarloaf Ski Resort. It's the subject of a new book, which is called A Town Built by Ski Bums, the story of Carrabassett Valley, Maine. It was written by Virginia Wright, who's with us here tonight on 207. Also with us is John Beaupre, who for many years was a selectman in Carrabassett Valley and owned and operated 3 grocery stores in town. Thanks both for coming in. It's good to have you here.
Thank you for inviting us.
So there's an interesting story behind the story here, Ginny. The town asked you to write this book, and the title is a catchy one, A Town Built by Ski Bums. A little bit of poetic license there, but that's really pretty much true, isn't it? The town really grew from the ski area, didn't it?
It did, yeah. There was hardly anybody living there until the ski area started. They were beginning to chafe from the taxes that they had to pay the state as unorganized townships. And they started meeting in the Red Stallion Inn and plotting to create a town of their own.
This is a story I think like no other in Maine. The town truly came about, the whole community came about because of young people who were interested in skiing on that great mountain.
That's right.
And what was it that drove them? Why did they succeed in a way that no one else did?
I can answer that, Rob. I grew up in Waterville, Maine, and for those of us that grew up in central Maine, we looked at Sugarloaf as Disney World. You know, we wanted to be there. We knew it was cool. We knew it was, you know, a town that let you be who you want to be. You know, it can be a party town, and it just draws people. It's become a cult-like atmosphere, and we're very fortunate to have that.
It's a colorful story, and we could sit here and talk for 3 hours about the people, about the bars, about the nightlife, about the excitement and energy that came from its being a skiing community. That all worked well for you because telling the history of a town doesn't get readers all excited. Telling a history of interesting people, that's what folks want to hear about, isn't it?
That's right. And it's also very lucky that so many of them are still around. I mean, that this is a very young town. And the founders are still with us, and they have stories to tell.
An odd town in a lot of ways. For instance, this is something I had no idea of. There are only 2.5 miles of public road in Carrabassett Valley. Most of it is private road connected with the housing. So they're just like weird facts like that. The population of Carrabassett Valley, tiny. In 1980, I think it was 107 people. So this just goes to show you how important it is that with the seasonal the big boom in the winter and now in the summer. What kind of changes have come about since the golf course was built, which is owned by the town?
That is correct. Carrabassett Valley owns the golf course. We own the anti-gravity center. We own the narrow gauge pathway. It's all built on those collaborative projects that we've had going forward. I talked to our former town manager last night, David Coda, and the day I became a selectman, he became our town manager. Our town's valuation was $250 to $260 million. Today, we're $1.4 billion. What that is we went from a 1-season community to a 4-season, year-round, high-growth outdoor recreation model, and
Jenny,
it's been great.
What was the biggest challenge for you in telling the story of Carrabassett Valley?
I think getting a handle on those collaborations was the biggest challenge, because they really do operate very differently than any other town.
Yeah.
And the collaborations have kept their tax rate ridiculously low, even though they have this incredible outdoor recreation infrastructure.
All right, so at the dawn of Carrabassett Valley, it became a town in '72, but if you go back to the 50s and 60s, it was young people, as we said, people in their 20s and 30s, maybe 40s, who really created this place. Now it's a much older place. Average age is something like 65 or something like that. What is the future of Carrabassett Valley?
That's funny you mentioned that. Ginny and I were talking out in the lobby. I'm chairing a couple initiatives. One is affordable housing, you know, and that's been a very important thing that we're working on. Number 2, I'm right in the middle of a collaborative effort again with Sugarloaf. We're going to build a brand new 9-hole walking golf course adjacent to our big, beautiful, magnificent golf course. But it's collaborative. It's a $10 million package. The town of Carrabassett Valley hopes to hold a bond for $4.5 million, where Sugarloaf is investing $5.5 million into a snowmaking pond, snowmaking infrastructure, which will provide stability for our community. You know, they'll be able to blow snow from early in November to later in April. So it's another real great example of our win-win situation, private versus municipal management. It's unique to anywhere in North America.
Clearly, there is more history to be written, but that's a story for another day.